What up, what up? Good evening. I finally cracked from the pressure. Maybe not the pressure, the decision fatigue of van life. I was in Phoenix the last 2 days, got some errands done, and thought it'd be fun to go to some coffee shops, maybe explore some new areas before going back and camping again. And I was sitting in a parking lot of Anytime Fitness last night at 8 o'clock. And this doesn't exactly have to do with the decision fatigue, but it was a little bit jarring, and I thought it'd be fun to share. I'm, it's like 8 p.m. last night, sitting in the parking lot of Anytime Fitness, and I hear on the back of my van, doo, 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 doo. And I shoot up, like knocking, but hard knocking. And I shoot up, and there's a car outside with like a light bar up top, like really bright. And this guy walks around from the back left, and I open up the door. I see him. I open up the door, and he's got security badge and a vest, and he's like, "Hey, man, just wanted to let you know that we don't allow overnight parking here, so you're welcome to hang around for a little bit longer." He was super nice. He was like, "Are you looking for a place to park for the night?" I was like, honestly, wasn't going to do it here, but I appreciate you coming now and not at 1 a.m., which has happened before. So he was super cool. He was like, "Yeah, if you want to hang out for another couple hours, totally cool. But just, if you're here at 1 a.m., I'm going to kick you out, basically." So anyway, but after that, back to the story. I was sitting in my driver's seat trying to figure out, and I think this was the moment, trying to figure out, basically planning today. Trying to figure out just so many with van life, and maybe particularly how I live it. There are so many decisions that you have to make. And basically, it was like, okay, what area am I in? Where can I camp that's close? And since this is a new city, I don't have a whole lot of camp places saved. So I have to basically find them. And then it's like, well, okay, where am I going to go tomorrow? Because it doesn't make sense to drive 20 minutes this way and then the next morning drive 20 minutes back the other way. And so I was like, okay, well, what coffee shop am I going to go to? And then I'm going to get groceries. So, there's a grocery store here, and there's a coffee shop here, and, I could camp here. But what if but then I need to get gas tomorrow, and where should I, and it's just like, oh my God. the decisions. I haven't felt this feeling in a while, and maybe it's because I guess this is my first extended urban van life in a new city, where I haven't mapped out. Basically in Denver, I had like a rotation of, I'll go in this area and I have like 6 spots here. And then after that, I'll go to this area and go to these coffee shops, and I have like 4 spots there. And then I'll go to this area, and it's like you just rotate through them. And that helps. But in a new city, you have to make all of the decisions. And it can be exhausting. And I think I've learned to develop this skill as a skill, which is extremely helpful. But yeah, why I wanted to share this was because this is the first time I've felt this way in a while, I suppose. I was like, I just want to go back to camping somewhere where I don't have to move my van every, multiple times a day, and just be in one place so I can focus on what I want to focus on and not all of the little tasks of the day. And I think there's also a learning lesson in here about optimization and over optimization. And this is something that I have thought about because the whole like, oh, it doesn't make any sense to drive 20 minutes this way and then drive 20 minutes back the other way the next morning or whatever. I got to a point where I almost thought, well, I was going to basically do that. You get to a point where you try to optimize everything that it just becomes overwhelming. And actually, this happened this morning as well, now realizing. And the learning or the takeaway for me has been, if you get to that point where you get to this analysis paralysis state of trying to optimize everything, that it becomes overwhelming and that it begins to hinder your ability to take action, my next thought is, screw the optimization. If I need to drive 20 minutes one way and then 20 minutes back the same direction just to move forward, then it's worth the price. And I almost did that, but then I figured out, I was trying to figure out what coffee shop to go to this morning. And that was another thing. Looking at like 6 different coffee shops, looking through all the images, trying to figure out, okay, does this place have enough seats? Does it have outlets? Will I be able to sit there for 3 hours? Can I find a place to park around? The place that I went to this morning had no outside street parking, which I wanted to be able to charge my batteries. And so I was like, I'm low on battery and I need to charge, but this place has a high, I don't know what you would call it, like a high roof parking garage, basically one of these like 20 feet tall road level under building parking garages. And that was another thing. I was like, all right, the amount of battery that I get from the 3 to 4 hours that I'm here will be negligible, basically. And so I was back to that, like, sometimes you just need to make the decision. And anyway, the just quick story from this morning was I was trying to debug and fix a bug in my software. And I threw the error and code into ChatGPT. Well, first I reproduced it, then threw the stuff into ChatGPT. It popped out a fix, and then I implemented it, and then I was like, actually, wait, this won't work in this case. And so I was like, all right, back to ChatGPT, what's the fix? And then it was like, oh, you got to do this. And then I did that, and then I got another error. And I went back to ChatGPT, got more code, different fix, different solution, whatever. And it was like the 5th or 6th time going back to ChatGPT, it giving me confidently an answer on how to fix it and still getting an error. I was like, okay, clearly this is not working. And it was the same like loop in my mind of like, I just need something. I just need, like, don't try to optimize it. Just, even if the code is messy, or just give me a simple solution. I just, or just figure out something to move forward, because the the urge that I had in that situation is to just go, screw it, like, I'll fix this later, and not do anything, you know? So anyway, a lesson in over optimization, and potentially what to do about it, and finally cracking under the decision fatigue of fan life. So anyway, to conclude my story, I drove out to some more BLM land, and oh my God, it's beautiful out here. The sunset was actually insane. Actually, like, I gonna be honest with you, I wasn't expecting to really like Arizona, but it is freaking beautiful. The weather is amazing. It's supposed to get a little bit cooler, and the landscape is just unique and different, and the sunsets and the sunrises are gorgeous. It's just anyway, I'm gonna go to bed. See you tomorrow.